Alright, I want to get this video out there so we can have it for today, since we have some confusion on my part. Y'all know I suck at trying to show you what I'm doing and how to do it. This is not a tutorial. Nowhere close to a tutorial. But some of y'all have had some questions about how I do things to make it fit for me. So, let's start with the gloves. Okay? There is no right or left. You just put your fat hand in it and call it all about. Okay? What pattern I use is, can y'all see? It's from the Crochet Crowd. So I take this pattern and I went to the written version because sometimes it's a little off sometimes, okay? So what I did is I went to the pattern and I just started. This one starts from the top, which is going to be right here, down. Now, it gets a little messy for me because I am a bigger person. So, what I did is I followed round 1 through 4, okay? 1 through 4, and then I gotta put these on, and I don't want to wear them, but I gotta put them on. And then I kept following the pattern to, yeah, I think, because it goes rounds 1 through 21. This is not 21. I stopped at 14. And what I did is when I got the glove made, I had it up to around about 15. It wouldn't fit anywhere like this. So what I do is when I'm making a glove or whatever, I rarely make these because they don't work most of the time, is once I get to here, well, I usually make the pattern, okay? And I knew at round 14 that it wasn't going to fit because it was like here and it was so tight. So what I do, and this make no sense to y'all, and I apologize, but I'm trying to tell you how to do this as best as I can, is I saw that this wasn't going to fit me. So I unraveled while it was still on my hand. I unraveled while on my hand to the spot where it wasn't tight and stretchy. And then I counted and said, okay, I'm at approximately this row. I know from this row on, I needed to add an extra V-stitch. Okay? And then I only went back to 14 because that's plenty long enough. So, this is so hard to explain. What I have to do is I do the pattern to a certain spot to where it looks kind of longish, and then I'll put it on, and then I'll unravel to where it's comfortable, and then start the pattern again, but do an increase. Okay? And then I'll do like a row or two. I'll do one increase and do 2 rows to see if it's going to fit. And in my case, adding that one increase was all I needed, so I continued for 2 more rows. So I think I've got 12 rows here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 14 rows. Okay? This thing goes all the way to row 21. But there's no way it's going to fit. Look, I mean, look at my freaking arm. The size of a tree limb. So, for me, it stopped here. This is the bad part about mittens that increase and decrease. We are so diversity different in sizes that it's hard. This is a hard thing to do. The other version of these is to make a rectangle and then sew down the side, leave a hole for your thumb, and continue to seam it down the side. Now that may work for some other people. I don't know. I wanted to increase and decrease, but being the size I am, it is a very hard thing to figure out. And I hope that helps something, because y'all, I don't know how to tell y'all how to do this. It is a shit ton of trial and error on this. I spent all day making this. From when I did the video yesterday, after I got off the video, I started on this, and it took trial and error, and I recommend all day long to have a little notepad by you to make notes, because whatever you do on this one, you've got to make the same shit happen on this one, or else it's going to look funny. So, you know, pay attention to exactly what you're doing and try on as you go. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to undo a lot of mess. And that's what I have to do, is I have to work the pattern, put it on, and then just untangle it till it gets to a certain spot and kind of wing it from there. That is the only way I can tell y'all this stuff. And like I said, maybe trying a men's pattern might be better. I really don't know the option for that, guys. I'm so sorry. But, you know, if you see a pattern you like, and remember, they are using a bulky yarn, okay? That makes a difference too. Your yarn size and your hook. I used the number 4 weight yarn, a worsted weight yarn, okay? And they said a I hook, so I went to a J thinking I could do that. No. I had to go all the way up to an 8mm hook to make this work. And I used regular worsted weight yarn and an 8mm hook to work this. That's something there's so many factors in all this. This is why it's so confusing to try to teach, to show y'all how to do this. Because you gotta take it apart and then redo, take apart, redo. And eventually I found that 8mm hook did work. Now, they're still very open. They're still very stretched out, but they're comfortable. So I just left it like that. I don't think it'll get any better than that. So there's so many variables when you're doing this stuff, folks. There's just so many things that you've got to pay attention to. And this has come from doing this since, what, 2011? I just know that certain things don't work for me. That's why I do a lot of my plus size clothes with the biggest hook possible. Because I know just some things just don't work. I know that before I go into these patterns. Like hats. Hats just don't work for me. So that is that pattern. If you're looking at the pattern with me, then you'll see that they use that bulky yarn and an eye hook. That did not work for me. But I was using a worsted weight yarn, trying to use a J hook because I thought maybe up one size. I had to go all the way up to an 8mm. Okay? Alright, so there's that. And I know there's going to be more questions, guys, but I just don't have any answers. I don't. And I'm so sorry. The other pattern for the hood. Okay? Now this is another trial and error that I had to find the right pattern. A lot of patterns will have you make a square and then seam it at the back. I hate that shit. I hate it. So I found a pattern that starts with a chain, and you chain one and go back up the chain and go down the other side, back up and down the other side. So it's a continuous, you know, this is from the color. This isn't a seam. This is from the previous color. So it's all one big piece. Does that make sense? I'm not about seaming a lot of this stuff. So let me get, sorry. I'm trying to get the video to work so I can show you this one. It's not gonna show. Okay, let me just open it. I'm sorry, folks. I thought I had this prepared. But anyway, this is just one piece. So that way, as you're crocheting from the back to the front, you can try it on and see, okay, does this work? Okay, we'll add a few more rows. Does this work? No. And again, I didn't use the hook size they say. I've used a bigger hook. And that's just something you're going to have to play with. I can't. This one is the crochet jewel. And it's a bear hood, but I don't have the ears. I, you know, just do the okay. but that's the best picture I can show you, is that right there. And you can see it's a K and J hook. That is not what I used. So this is the crochet adult hooded bear cow. So I loosely followed this pattern, okay? And what I did is I followed back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to where this covered up my face, okay? Follow me? Okay, once I did the length that I wanted to make it the way I want, then to make the neck part, I chain so many chains and then attach it. Because the way they have it is she attaches it right there at the chin. But my neck is too fat for that nonsense. So I did the chain across, and then I turn it upside down and go around the bottom, not the side where your face is poking out, but where your neck's going to poke out, around and around until I got to where I needed to be. Again, I used worsted weight yarn and an 8mm hook, and it came out just fine. Now, some worsted weight yarns you cannot use that big of a hook on. You're going to have to go to a smaller size. Again, trial and error, folks. Trial and error. That is all I can stress to you at this point, because I don't have exact measurements. I don't have exact chains. I don't have any of that. I find a pattern and I tweak it to where it's almost another pattern. But that is how it gets worked. Is it starts with a chain, and then you go up and around, and then back up and around, back up and around to the length to where, and I just keep trying it on, and then put the neck on it. I hope that makes some sense, folks. But like I said, I don't have exact measurements. I don't have chain numbers. I don't have any of that. I just have to rely on my instincts of what needs to be done, because I do this so much. And the reason I am able to do this as fast as I can, and you know, seems like a pretty quick time, is because I rarely leave my house. And a lot of it's bipolar. I know that a lot of people blame that, but I get manic sometimes. Like right now, I feel a little manicky because I'm trying so hard to tell y'all about this when I know I'm failing so bad. But, you know, that's how I get stuff done, is I just do it. And I can't tell you how many times I have to rework a pattern. That's why I gave up on hats, because there is no happy medium in hats. I can't figure it out. That's why I went to looming in a lot of hats, just because I cannot figure out how to crochet them with a proper size. So, you know, if you find a pattern and you work it and you're like, dang, this doesn't work, it's just yarn. If it's a arm warmer, or if it's whatever you're wearing, pull it back to where, okay, it fits to till you get about right here. Pull that yarn out while you're on it, and then decide, okay, I've got this many rows. How about if I put like 2 or 3 increases right there and do a couple of rows? Okay, it fits, but now it's getting too tight here. Well, add some more increases. You know, that's all I can tell you. I mean, I just don't have a whole lot of method to my madness, if that makes any sense to y'all. Y'all are so talented and have so much brainage that I know y'all can make this work. And I know that with the right formula, you'll be able to succeed. It's just, you've got to be able to say, okay, it doesn't work, and pull that shit out. At first I was frustrated and I was scared when I first tried to do this, to pull stuff out. But I'm like, why not? It's just yarn and it's expensive, so let's pull it out instead of throwing it into the dark pile and figure out how to make it work. And there's still a lot of stuff I don't know how to make work, but I'm trying, and that's all you can do, okay? I hope that helps some of y'all. If not, please message me and I will try to do my best, but it's just trial and error, folks. Trial and error. So, anyway, Y'all have a great one, and I hope it helped. Bye.